Fashion News opens its fashion vaults to the most important, influential, and trend-setting designers of the last 30 years. Designer Marathon brings you a unique chronicle of the milestone moments, the landmark collections, the exhibitions, the favorite models, and the creative process behind every designer's career. From the first to the last, from the shocking to the classic, follow the evolution of the world's top designers from rising star to fashion icon. It's all here in the vault, a retro-spectacular timeline, a designer marathon. While always known for his dramatic tendencies, the financial success that comes with being creative director of Christian Dior has given John Galliano the checkbook with which to pay for an imagination that seems to have no limits.
John is like he's like a rare hothouse flower.
I mean, John isn't so much about a romantic message, but in a big, explosive way.
He's kind of our resident fantasist. He, transports us through his designs to, in a sense, known yet unknown places.
He likes to tell a story with clothes and transform his women into kind of magical heroines in his fantasy scenarios, and it's, I think that's a sort of irresistible idea to lots of women.
It's a never-ending curiosity. For many years, I think this show has been, the most exciting things in our business. And when you're seeing so many shows in a week, it's so nice to get, tweaked or made to think something else.
Whatever inspires him is never taken literally. It's always associated, reinvented, reinterpreted by John in his own way. This is nothing he hates, it's nothing that's forbidden. I mean, some people hate green, some people hate shiny, some people hate I don't know what. John doesn't hate anything, he can touch anything and turn it into something beautiful to his eyes. 10 times a year, time after time, he still can reinvent himself and whatever subject he's dealing with, he will reinvent.
John should definitely write a beautiful play and get some production house and great backing, because he certainly has it in him.
I think John Galliano is obviously a genius. He has a wonderful, inspirational mind, and sometimes that inspiration he gets a little bit carried away with.
This season, artistic mastermind John Galliano let a whimsical, childlike fantasy world carry him away. The madcap designer had models' faces painted in Crayola colors and sent out a string of paper dolls and fanciful cardboard creatures.
I talked to John Galliano after the show, which I thought was fabulous, and he said that he wanted to get back to a childlike innocence and joy and fun about dressing up. And that's what it was about.
I think it was also a commentary that John was saying that we've gone too far with kind of ladylike dressing, with women wanting to look and dress like their mothers, and our obsession with consumer goods and bags and shoes and everything. So I think it was a very, very tongue-in-cheek look at that.
John Galliano erased the line between Christian Dior and his own collection, bringing both shows under one roof. The incestuous relationship included intermixed logos, the soundtrack, and outfits themselves. Show producer Alexandre Vitat worked closely with John on sculpting Dior's and Galliano's image.
The way we started working with him about a year ago is to develop together a visual concept for the staging of the Dior image of the shows, which is this mirror line. It's very slick, very modern, very high-tech, with the little dots of lights in the back, this tower of lights. And what we have done with John is make this image evolve season after season. It was a very modern, high-tech setting for crazy modern rock chicks.
You need only to step backstage at John Galliano to realize his wild imagination fuels creativity, right through to hair and makeup.
So what we're doing is, we've got about 3 sections. We have a techno-romantic. We've used white foundation in a really techno way. Really sharp. It's a very sharp pattern around the face, a little bit robotic.
It's 3 things mixed together. There's an element of tribal, which are the braids, the cornrows.
And then we've got the wild feather flower girls. They look like wild birds.
And then 50s Alexandre type of chignons.
And then we also have the Eskimo girls, crazy Eskimo girls, which have fur eyeshadow going around their eyes.
And then there's another brief that I was given was Mongolian Eskimo, so that's why we're using the fur. So we're mixing those 3 things together and coming up with the hairdos that we've done.
And Galliano united the world with his own multicultural creations.
It was fantastic. It was everything in it was really beautifully made, incredible colors, so rich with ideas. It was a really beautiful Galliano show.
I thought it was a sort of extraordinary show. He was obviously exploring many of the themes that he'd explored with Dior Couture in January, that intense world culture mix. Here it sort of seemed to be focused on China and Mongolian sort of vision.
I loved, there was a kind of evening dress which had this kind of Chinese, kind of silky underneath, and then this wonderful kind of red wrapping on top of it. And the styling, I thought the styling was beautiful with these feathers over the eyes. I mean, it's so rich in ideas.
Well, I think that just the whole sort of culture makes idea the sort of playing with proportions, like the very, very long body, trapping an incredibly full skirt that sort of kicks out from, trapped from the knee, the vastly overscaled tops, with those kind of squared shoulders that tumble towards the elbow. The detailing is just phenomenal. I mean, the embroidery and the techniques and the skirts with all the little sort of chiffon cutouts that sort of flutter in the wind like autumn leaves.
John Galliano's the bomb. It was all beautiful. It was incredible. The mixture of everything, the textures, it's incredible. He's an artist. It's beyond fashion. It's something else.
This season, the greatest show on earth had nothing to do with the circus, but came from the whimsical mind of British designer John Galliano.
Loved Galliano. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was so joyful and optimistic. And I think in troubled times, it's been fantastic to come to Paris.
What a show! He's such a showman, and I mean it's a hot ticket because you're going to be entertained.
It was a major nostalgic trip for any of us who came from London and lived through the 80s.
Galliano was inspired by 2 icons of early 80s London club culture.
Lee Bowery and Trojan. I mean, as you know, I was a student at St. Martin's and I would hang out with them and John Mabry and Boy George. And there was this wonderful time at Taboo where one was really expressing oneself through cultures, clothes, etc., etc. And there was this expression of just a complete joie de vivre.
He told you color is back in the biggest and the best way. I mean, the boy knows how to do it. He definitely told us about a new runway, how we have to feel it, smell it, see it in the air. I mean, he brought the greatest joy in fashion.
So Trojan was one of the influences, and then this amazing work that's going on in Bollywood. Small budgets, great films. And I just felt it was really right for today, really, playing with these kind of very romantic, spiritual, almost diaphanous structures and volumes, and that whole festivity and belief in God. I feel the clothes need that back ground, that theatrical setting, to show them to the best. You know, we don't have advertising campaigns and stuff, so we have to make a statement.
And I feel like the clothes sort of get lost in the show. I mean, I can recall all of the great gestures and the flourishes and the colors and the spectacle, but I'd have a hard time telling you, what his collection really looks like.
Having spent 6 months working on the clothes, Galliano and his team then had to figure out the practicalities of powdered paint.
Well, we had a little studio backstage, and I had my team there in white coats and masks. The whole thing was live. But of course, we worked out the colours and things, but before the goes on, we started to throw the paints at them, mix the colours, and then top them up with glitter, so that when they walk, this whole kind of nuage of colour would... I mean, it's just a moment that was the joy to watch.
You came to see a show. You didn't come to see pieces. You came to see a show. 7:30, you're in Paris. You came to live again.
Well, I thought it was totally brilliant. What I said to John when I went backstage is stand back, Jackson Pollock.
I'm not an artist, I'm a couturier.
Everyone always complains that John is, he majors in spectacle, and there are hardly any clothes to see afterwards. Well, here were the clothes plain for all to see.
Galliano took the classic 40s silhouette and turned it on its head, retooling everything from war era's traditional suits to bustled bottoms.
I was inspired by the austerity of the 40s and the symmetry of the cut of the clothes, but then of course I wanted to explore it and take it somewhere else in a positive way. So there was this austerity, this very symmetrical, slightly monte shoulder, but then with the aid of zips and the very modern technological language, if you like, there was a very positive explosion of cherry prints or the blouse, etc., etc.
The etc. that Galliano is speaking of could be referring to the most luscious pink popcorn sweaters, sure to ward off that winter chill. Was reminiscent of old-world Hollywood glamour, updated for today's red carpet moments.
I mean, it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. John took that 1940s slightly warlike moment and just turned it into a complete bit of fun. I thought it was marvellous.
Galliano got girly this season as he sent out delightful replicas of Victorian dolls. As usual, he challenged his beauty crew to come up with something even more delicious than last season.
I think that it's perhaps the culmination of the femininity we've seen since New York following through. We've seen clothes get soft and softer, more and more feminine, prettier and prettier. I think that's sort of an exaggeration. I mean, certainly Galliano is known for the way he exaggerates, takes a good idea and blows it out.
We are friends with John, so it's amazing to come to see a friend.
And what did you think of the collection?
It was brilliant. This kind of happiness, positivity, and freshness, and he did really like a kid. That's amazing. A kind of pre-revolutionary Shirley Temple. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It's always like stunning what they do.
John always sees hats as being an essential part of his look. He doesn't see a real definition between hats and the rest of the clothes. It's just another element, which is why he always uses hats and loves them so much. You know, he's not frightened by them. And it's sort of a side of his expression that can't be achieved by anything else. It can't be really achieved by makeup or by, but you know, it's part of the whole thing which goes on around the head and around the face. He's extraordinary, really inspirational, great fun. We're good friends, so he's a good teacher.
Crinolines, corsets, and Coca-Cola cans dominated John Galliano's runway this season. Surprisingly, the designer drew on the Yemen tribes of the Middle East for inspiration. The hair and makeup teams took this as a starting point and added their own extreme twist.
Today we're doing, it's a mixture of, inspired by the people of Yemen, 19th century Edwardian hairdos, and then bag ladies. We're mixing that all in one head, which means we have little braided bits, we have little curls, we have flowers, we have vine, we have fur, we have ropes of hair, we have saran wrap. There's a lot of things in the hairdo today.
We are doing, with influenced by the face painting of the people of the Yemen. So we have, you know, a lot of black lines going on the face with dots, orange cheeks. We're playing between pale skin and dark skin. And then we're also doing Edwardian doll-like makeup, really fragile young girls. So we're having a lot of fun.
What a show. It was just a swashbuckling, amazing romp through history. Lots of seafaring inferences and references, but incredibly creative. Well, I thought the crinolines were as sort of high, wide and handsome as a Spanish galleon, and I mean, they absolutely went down the catwalk like that. I love the corsetry, because I think, you know, if you stripped away those huge skirts, which obviously were a lot designed just for the catwalk, you were left with a fantastic Edwardian sort of Victorian silhouette. Very, very waisted, very tight, very tiny on top.
What a show, you know, great spectacle, but beyond a spectacle, what a great statement about contemporary life. The metaphor about it was really important as the world gets more homogenized. Those clothes, they were also about people in charge of their own destiny, pushing those skirts, you know, pushing your life through there, and just a great John Galliano show. He's a great showman, but there's real subjects underneath all that, and so it goes beyond, and you know, I think it's really important that John continues to let his imagination run free this way and not worry about, well, you know, how many actual articles to wear and all that, because they're there in the stores.
John's always a showman and wonderfully inventive in his collections, but I actually thought this one was not only inventive and fun, there were underneath all the crinolines, there were a lot of really pretty and romantic dresses and ideas, wonderful ideas with furs and jackets. So I mean, I think once everybody goes back and deconstruct it, not only was it, you know, a wonderful lift for all of us to see, there's lots of fabulous clothes there for people to buy.
Fashion press quickly set to work, teasing apart the grab bag of influences, references, and inspirations that John worked with this season.
There's wonderful references to swinging London, psychedelia, then Barbara Hutton for some reason was in there, he just told me. Which is why he called it Too Rich to Walk. The very rich Barbara Hutton, who had to be carried by her manservants everywhere.
I'm very partial to grunge, and I'm very partial to Bollywood. So I love the inspiration behind it. I love that kind of Sienna Miller goes to Glastonbury via Bombay kind of approach to fashion.
It's truly astonishing that each time he comes up with something so amazingly unusual.
For spring, Galliano sent a strong message of soft wash denim as well as signature Galliano Gazette newsprint.
He's a guy who has really invented his own language for fashion, and his own vocabulary, and his own world, in fact.
Galliano's world also included sexy swimwear, plenty of pink, oversized petals, and psychedelic prints, as well as a look back at some of his past collections.
It seemed a funny show. It seemed a bit of a retrospective. It isn't as though many of the silhouettes are things we haven't seen before. What are beautiful are the dresses, the sort of prettiness of even the most kind of grungy clothes, you know, a t-shirt with some swags of chiffon on it or the like. There's always a kind of a prettiness and a lightness, and I think that came through last night, and was emphasized as well by the balloons at the end. I mean, there is something fantastical and fun always about his clothes, even when they're shown in a very straightforward way.
For me, he brings myths to life, and that's why I'm always so in love with his collections. You know, he brings fairy tales to life.
Backstage at John Galliano was unusually bereft of the beautiful people, until you realize that maybe beauty really is only skin deep.
The theme this time is Everybody is Beautiful. It's on real people, and John wanted to just, you know, have real characters and bring out their spirit and have the whole collection done on them. The general theme is kind of Argentina, tango, so we're doing in that theme, but it's kind of everybody's a little varied. Because everybody has their own personality and their own strengths, and so we're playing on that.
We still have our sections, tango, Hollywood, 40s, 50s. You know, we're really, you know, it's very much based on Argentinian circus. But really and truly, we're just doing a lot of smoky eyes, period eyebrows. But again, tailoring it to fit real people. And that's the same for John's clothes, to show that this can be worn on, you know, everybody.
It's what I expect of Galliano. He uses the platform to make some statement. I think it came at an appropriate time, how the world is feeling, the things that are happening in the world. And so to John, after all of this, all the fashion shows, you sort of were looking at life and that we all live in the same world and we all love clothes and it doesn't matter about size or age or culture.
It was an amazing show. I mean, it was a kind of a wonderful, sort of heartwarming sort of celebration of diversity. So it's always a nice thing to see, particularly in a season when we've seen so few, I would say, women of color on the runway. It's been a very uniform statement or type of look, and to finally see a show which says that anyone can look good if they're wearing some swagged chiffon, it's pretty great. I mean, it's quite a nice thing to see, and it's quite an extraordinary set of production values too. The way they did it, and wonderful casting, and actually within it many, many beautiful dresses.
I thought it was a really moving production. I mean, what I kept noticing were the embroideries that said, "Don't cry for me, fashionista," and it just seemed to sort of be a little message to people who are fashion obsessed, not to get a little too carried away by their own sense of style superiority.
The only complaint aimed at the spectacle was that at times the theatrics overshadowed the clothes.
It is a pity, but you know, you have to start to think, do we want to look at everything commercial or do we want to see theater? You know, there is that like double-sided coin that's occurring, you know. And we don't want to see a commercial runway, and we also don't want to be taxed with a theater piece because we believe that you're here to see clothes.
I thought it was incredibly brave because it's a real test for the clothing, and to have to produce those samples in such an extraordinary range of sizes and proportions. I really thought it took a lot of bravery to do that, and to say that not only can I make clothes for people of various sizes, but I think they look as beautiful on those people as they do on someone who's 5'10" and 110 pounds. I thought that it was an interesting collection because it seemed to have a lot of more casual looks to it. There seemed to be a lot of sort of washed denim looks with jeans and jackets, and a lot of prints taken from his sort of Galliano Gazette.
I do think that John should definitely write a beautiful play and get some production house and great backing, because he certainly has it in him.
I read about these fantastic women, and really took it from there. Oh, well, of course, you know, the idea of adventure, exploring, discovering strong women, defending rights, and moving forward, courageous women. They were all my inspiration. The strong frontier women, I mean, I have a huge list. I don't know where my list is.
Well, it was Sherman's March, you know, it was an ode to the sadness and beauty of lives lost during the Confederate War, obviously. You know, keeping with this mood of like sad, dour, you know, depressing in the times and climate that we live in. It seemed appropriate with what else was going on this season.
Americana, the nostalgia, much more kind of poetic, romantic, a softer version of the Gothic at Galliano. Taking that whole nostalgia, if you like, and being inspired and using it as treatments on fabrics, whether it's waxing or dusting, to give the fabrics a soul, a life, which I thought was very contemporary, to do that. The cuts as well are slightly kind of easier on the body, still marking the waist, of course, and super light, very light. I think that's the way forward now with fabrics, the lightness.
Galliano's interpretation of the stars and stripes was subtle, but noted nonetheless.
I love the graphics. I'm a bit like a child, really. I could stare at the floor for ages. I have to be honest, it's the graphics that was appealing to me.
I thought it was interesting. He chose to wear shearling and a American flag T-shirt when he came out for his bow.
I'm not a politician. I'm a fashion designer, and I like to think I do that well, and let the other guys kind of do what they do quite well.
Showed yet another side to the perennial showman.
I think John's really looking for new vocabulary, and that's great, you know. We all should be. It's a new time.
Well, not unlike Dior, he completely toned it down, and it started out with a series of sort of straight jackets, which he's done before, simple white suits in cotton with like rounded shoulders and double belted details. And then he moved into a series of dresses that, again, are reminiscent of something that he used to do a long, long time ago. Only this time he picked up on a Japanese floral motif. So a lot of white dresses with this sort of like almost cartoonish character motif. And then it became slowly, as the evening wore on, more extravagant. So he brought out bright peony colors and this kind of like laminated satin and silk and this incredible blue. And then it'd be combined with some floral chiffon panels on the side.
Some celebs were tight-lipped about the collection, but one fan was happy to show support.
I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. I loved how he makes the softness with the velvet and the sequins, and Stephen did such a great job on the hats.
I know, right? They were beautiful.
To die for. I thought it was beautiful.
I was
really thrilled to do those this season because they, it was a very tight silhouette, the last dresses, and because of that, John really wanted to sort of expand the fantasy which was in the clothes to make like a broader silhouette at the top, but have the sort of lightness and delicacy about it, which I think we really communicated.
That last series of dresses where you really took the idea of the dot and the silk screening that Roy Lichtenstein, one of the great pop artists of all time, and more recently Jeff Koons has been picking up from Lichtenstein's work, and he translated it into fashion, and it was pretty damn spectacular.
I think the joie de vivre was more important than anything else, and at that point it could have been a paper bag on your head or a garland of flowers or whatever, but it was really that sort of spectacular, fun, fairground, beautiful, indulgent, extravagant feeling that he wanted to have, which is so Galliano. Right. Whether it was, that was him like 20 years ago and it's him now and it'll be him in 20 years' time.
Even though people are going, where's this notorious Galliano spirit? They said the same thing at Dior, but I think that's to miss the point about Galliano's real sense of rigor when it comes to making clothes, Maybe people are looking too much at the outside. This was like the good old days of Galliano. Absolutely sensational.
It was a fine return to form for John Galliano. And this met a runway show with all the trimmings.
We have a sailor, we have a barman, we have all sorts of different people. Do you remember a couple of years ago, John did a collection which was for all different ages, shapes and sizes, and he's just as interested in those as a young pretty girl.
The look is based on the Versailles, the photographs of Versailles, nighttime in Paris, and we have 5 sections, or 6. We have Kiki de Montparnasse, Madame Bijou, Streetwalkers, and then we go into Pigalle, which is really sweaty after the night, after the party kind of looks. And we're having a very creative moment, and we're having a lot of fun.
I think the show is going to be like, it's hideous to say something's like a classic show or eternal show, but it really is. It's like John's favourite things.
Absolutely exquisite wearable clothes, and of course it's very much the sort of Poiret influence that I think we're going to be seeing quite a lot of after the Met show, the Costume Institute in New York.
Clothes, gorgeous, beautiful, romantic, lyrical things in sumptuous fabrics and mouth-watering colours. Really, that full opulence that is Galliano. All sorts of different hats. We have like a little cloche, which is made out of netting. We have a great big hat, which is layers of hats in velvet and tulle. We have aigrettes for evening. A full panoply of different things, which are all incredibly John.
This is fashion. This is what it's all about. This is what we dream of. We always hope to see, but we very rarely see. And this was one of those very special nights. It was just perfection. Absolute perfection in every sense.
I adored it. Sincerely, I thought it was wonderful and love the theatrics.
What were your favourite pieces?
2 black lace dresses. Got my eye on them.
It was what they call a tour de force. It's John at his best, really, which is just so extraordinarily inventive. John has this ability to, tell wonderful, evocative stories through his clothes and his presentations. He managed to create a kind of very specifically period, late teens, early 20s kind of aesthetic. But I think if you take those pieces apart, there are some extraordinarily modern silhouettes. Although it's completely uniquely John's world, it's a very on-target collection, and just in terms of pure trends of the season.
So we have 5 sections at Galliano today. First of all, starting with Little Girl on the Beach, Coney Island, you can see here. We have Little Edie, here you have from Grey Gardens, 2 characters from Grey Gardens. We have Big Edie in a Dream, thinking that she's very young. And then we go into 40s Rosie De Palma, as you can see here. And then we go into Spanish, using lots of fiery flame-like colours. So very beautiful, very, completely out there. Lots of excitement and use of imagination, and it's a lot of fun.
Fabulous, eccentric 40s hats, huge, unusual proportions, sweet, sweet, sweet Bo-Peep bathing beauty hats, swim caps too, actually. And I need to go and put them on now, so if you'll excuse me.
Comes to the Galliano runway, the girls know how to put on a performance.
They all appreciate, I think, to do Galliano's show, because there's a nice mood all the time.
It's difficult because sometimes it doesn't work when they ask them to sort of ham it up, but it really works when all the clothes and the hair and the makeup is also right on like that.
Very fresh and delicate, and imagine a garden party in England like this. There's a lot of frivolity, and you don't feel the work. I can tell you there's a lot of work on these dresses, but everything seems easy. That's the way it should be. That's the elegant way.
I think the last couple of seasons that I've noticed is that, especially last season and again this season, the quality of everything just gets better and better. The quality of the design, with the construction of the clothes, the fabric.
Galliano looked to the often referenced film Grey Gardens, a documentary about the eccentric Beale women of East Hampton.
He's good at a narrative too. And it's not, okay, it was the Beales, but it didn't matter what it was. He just needs something to kind of set it against. Some color, things like that. I mean, there were some great sweaters, those knits that kind of wrap with the asymmetrical buttoning, and then some of the really beautiful prints, frilly skirts were great. I like that combination of the skirt and the sweater, the way he did it.
I think it was amazing, like always with him. It's a big surprise, and it's an ambient, and you go inside and you forget everything. It's 25 minutes or 30, I don't know how much, but it's like a little dream. And we need all this to forget all the troubles in life, and I think this eccentric, but with the sadness inside, and I like very much.
It's everything I come to Fashion Week for, and I'm inspired and overwhelmed.
The menswear is doing incredibly well. I don't know if you've seen the ranking in Chanel de Textile. We're number 4. We don't have a shop. We don't even advertise, and we're number 4. Above Prada, above Saint Laurent. It's quite major. We're very happy with the menswear. It's major. It's major.
John Galliano has been doing menswear since 2004, and while it may be a success commercially, doesn't let that detract from the creativity of the show.
The Galliano show is always really fun. It's more creative, it's more theatrical, I think. What I was wearing tonight was like, I think a mix of some sort of like Eastern Asian kind of Mongolian type of broken down fur with knitwear incorporated.
It was inspired by the 15th century frost fairs. It's when the Thames froze over and they would have these amazing parties. And then I'd done this great trip to New York where I'd been to the Hasidic areas, Hispanic areas, hip-hop areas, and I kind of draw parallels to the silhouette. So we recreated that very regal, neat street silhouette with very contemporary, urban pieces. Well, the first section was Henry VIII, great furs, great silhouettes, the shorter trouser. The second section was his manservant, Baldric. I don't know if you know Rowan Atkinson, Blackadder. Slightly grungy way, a younger way of showing the tailoring, the way I wear it. Tailored jacket, kind of like cashmere track pants. Then we had the Renaissance prints, which is very beautiful, puffer jackets with fur. And the last section was the frost fairs, the jokers, the jesters.
When you take away all the craziness, all the makeup, all the overstyling, you see that they're beautiful tailor clothing pieces because he is a tailor by training.
It was a feeling of romance, absolutely, and sort of a historicism mixed with the idea of a jester and an entertainer. But even though John's very good at doing allegorical clothes and putting in so many different themes, it's actually what comes out at the end and just how it looks at the end. But it's like total eye candy. That's why I love it.
Magnificent. You know, you're not even focusing on the looks, you're just focusing on the overall thing because it's like a performance, you know, it's one of a kind.
Season after season, John Galliano's dazzling shows draw on inspiration vast and varied. This season, it ranged from poire to poetry.
The brief this evening was the idea of it based on Coleridge's poem of Xanadu. So that was our sort of start off.
The poet, of course, inspired me, and he decreed that Xanadu should be a pleasure dome, and we know it for being theatrical. So why wouldn't I take my inspiration from theatre, both backstage and front stage? So there was the story of the making of backstage and front stage, with all those fabulous characters that you meet at the theatre, fantastic people who hang out in the green room, or stage hands, costume designers, the director, the frustrated director, rewriting the notes over and over again with the ingenue, you just can't get it right. I mean, of course it's an inspiration. And then I saw this great cult movie by Kenneth Anger called The Inauguration of the Pleasure Dome. And I loved the sets, I loved the scenes, the way it was shot. It was almost like Man Ray, but saturated in colour. So that in turn led me to look into Orientalism, and I've been looking at images and photographs of Poiret's wife and how chic and contemporary she looked at the time, and to readdress really the bottom and what women wear on the bottom. It wasn't really a trouser, it wasn't a skirt, but I tried to address the trouser in a much more feminine way, cut the way we cut our bias cut dresses and our tailoring, with shots of vitamin colours, accents of neutrals with the varied tangerines, limes, oranges, fuchsias, citron yellow. Very often my day wear gets overlooked because my evening wear, my ladies, they love my evening wear. But I mean, we do beautiful day wear, and I thought it was fair and right, and very important to the new proportion as the silhouettes on top became more tailored, although in a feminine way. The bottom half became much more fluid, like our bias cut trousers. think it's new territory. I know from the reaction of the girls when we were doing the fittings, they were like, wow, this is so cool, I can lie around in this, and yet it's got a dressy quality to it as well.
And you know how when he comes out at the last second, it's always, you think you're going to see like Madonna come out.
I love the theatre of it. It's quite magical, it's fun. I mean, I love producing images, and of course I'm a part of that image. It really is part of the creative process. It's the end of the creative process where I have, as I said, been living it, breathing it. It's something that happens quite naturally. I love dressing up, I love fashion. I kind of like live it, breathe it, whatever the collection is, and become a part of it. And then of course afterwards I'm often doing something else.
And also, he's just genius. That's why I think he comes across as being crazy, you know? People compare him to Dali just because the way he channels himself, and I think that it's appropriate for his craftsmanship to be compared to such a good artist. I think he's great. And everyone wants to know if has he gained weight, has he lost weight, is he blonde, how much makeup is he gonna wear, is he gonna be... even his personal image draws so much attention. His charisma is just definitely incredible.
When I look back, I feel blessed, very lucky.